We're so happy that you're here. We're really excited to talk to you about LumaFusion for education. It's something that we're both really passionate about. And essentially today we're going to talk about the app itself, but then really focus on why we believe LumaFusion is great for the classroom, like what it does for students specifically, as well as the logistics of how to purchase the app for your institution or for your classroom, because it is a little bit different than just buying it from the App Store. There's different roads to purchase the app for education.
So guys, we've just got back from NAB in Las Vegas. We had the whole team there. And this year we had a real strong focus on the education side of getting LumaFusion into the classrooms and raising awareness with lecturers and students about LumaFusion and what it can add to the student experience, regardless of whether they're doing filmmaking or media, but actually in any subject.
Video, obviously, storytelling. It's like, I feel like we know it more than ever is how we are communicating as a culture. And it is the way that young people are consuming information. And there's nothing more empowering if students can then create their own stories and their own video. And then that not only are they going to be able to use their creativity to create their own stories and be heard, but then they're also going to consume media differently. Once you know how to edit and you know how things are edited, it actually changes your brain and how your brain works when you're consuming media, which, as we know, our young people are doing a lot of right now. So I'm Amy Benson, and I am in customer support at LumaFusion. And I am also running the education program, and I am a filmmaker. But before I was a filmmaker, I was an educator. I taught middle school, 7th grade language arts and drama. And I also taught at the university level. And I'm always have been passionate about teaching teaching people about filmmaking and storytelling. It's like where my heart lives.
My name is Caroline Scott. I'm the content creation specialist here at LumaTouch. I make most of the YouTube videos that you'll see, the tutorials, the reference guide videos, and the creative storytelling videos that you'll see as part of our LumaTouch channels on social media. My background is in broadcast journalism, so storytelling is also in my blood. I've trained thousands of journalists across the world in how to use a variety of different tools for their storytelling. And I have to say, before I joined the team here at LumaTouch, I was actually using LumaFusion and teaching journalists how to use LumaFusion for their storytelling. So it is a tool that I really believe in, way before I joined the company and now even more so. And I just think this is an opportunity for, not just the students, but also lecturers as well, to really embrace their creative side and start getting a tool into the classroom, which is really going to enhance the overall learning experience. Now, LumaFusion is a mobile editing app which has been designed from the ground up specifically for the mobile touch-based experience. So it's intuitive to how we all the time use our mobile phones, use iPads. We're doing dragging and dropping and trimming and splitting every single day, the actions that we're going to be teaching these students to use in order to tell their stories.
Why LumaFusion for education? This is the thing. So LumaFusion is a professional editor. So students, if they learn how to edit on LumaFusion, they will be able to edit for the rest of their lives on any platform. But because it's mobile and touch, it's very intuitive for students. And as I said before, students can take it anywhere. So they're not going to be just restricted to edit in the classroom. They can take their project and their device, whether it be a phone or an iPad or a tablet, and edit from when they're on the field at soccer practice or on the bus. We have 2 professors at the University of Michigan who are using LumaFusion in their classroom, and they said it was so great the night of the day of the eclipse, where they sent their kids out to do a news package about the eclipse, and they were outside filming and then editing right there, on the lawn of their campus, and the freedom in that. Also, LumaFusion it is not a template app. Like it is a app where every project is going to look different because it really encourages imagination and creativity. And as we know, that is going to give students more satisfaction, and it's going to encourage active participation, and it's a way for students to like really express their thoughts and their feelings, especially for students who aren't able to do it in other ways. Like if they're not able to do it in writing, they're able to do it here visually. And it also encourages cooperation between students. And we'll go in a little bit to talk about how it's easy to share projects across devices and across students, which I think is also very important. Other thing, if you're an editor, you know this. Editing can be a very meditative and relaxing experience. And that's what I see with students, is that when they're in the editing mode on their devices, especially because it is via touch, and they're creating and they're like literally inventing their story, it can be a very like I said, it's like calming and satisfying experience for students. So we created LumaFusion. It's created by editors for editors, and we believe every student has the potential to be a great editor and tell their own story.
Absolutely. And storytelling is the heart of everything we do here. All of the team, we love to edit. We are editors, we're creatives, and, we see the positives every single day, every single time we're editing, whether that's for ourselves, whether that's for a video for work, whatever it might be. But the actual process of really getting stuck into a story and having that control over how it's formed, developing a timeline, getting their creative ideas out onto the timeline, and actually being able to express themselves in a tool that is on their smartphones. You can see some of these students here from the University of Michigan, they're enjoying just being able to use the material that they've probably gone out and shot themselves. We will talk about how you can import media and use all of this stuff, but fundamentally, Amy mentioned there about the collaboration. These students all have devices, whether they've been provided them from school, they will have an iPhone or an Android phone in their pocket. So we're giving them the ability to use the device they're already comfortable with to collaborate with their peers, to tell their stories, and to do it wherever they are, which is obviously a fantastic workflow for the classroom, where you don't have to have some of the students stuck to desktop computers, which I know when I learned to edit, that was it. You had to hire out a room, you had to be in a certain space, but now you don't have to do that.
This is something that this has always been true for LumaTouch and LumaFusion, but it's something we're really highlighting now. It's becoming in the world more and more important, is our privacy commitment. And I'm just going to read it out right now. At LumaTouch, we hold a responsibility to the creators we serve, the very same creators who have served us so kindly. We are committed to safeguarding privacy, igniting personal creativity, and preserving the art of storytelling. Our tools exist to nurture creativity rather than devour it. So this is the creative explanation of our privacy commitment. What this means is we do not take your information. The media that you use in LumaFusion is your media. We don't see it. This is your app to create on your device, and your students' information and your information is separate from us and safe.
Here at LumaTouch, we want you to understand that everything that you are doing on your device is completely private, and we're here to provide you with those tools to enable you to actually use it. And as you can see here on the screen here, we've got a variety of different lesson plans that you can use, which Amy has taken the time to create, which are completely free for you to download and use and integrate into your own curriculum. Because a lot of the people, Amy, that you spoke to at NAB, I'm sure would love to use LumaFusion, but they think, how can I actually put it into use, or how can I integrate it into what is already quite a structured curriculum?
So I do a lot of fun creating these lesson plans. And so I'll just give you one quick example of a lesson plan that, so to say that like you do not have to be teaching a journalism course in order to have editing in your classroom, as you probably know. So one idea that I was thinking of was using it in language arts to have students deconstruct a poem and create their own visual poem. This could be with a poem that they write themselves, or maybe it's a poem that's, you know, a Robert Frost poem. But in the lesson plans, I have like resources to find good poems that you could do visual poetry with. But so you can use voiceover for students to read the poem, and then they can create either by going out and filming or using the special effects within LumaFusion to illustrate that poem. And it's a way for them to express what they believe the poem means. So that's just one example of a lesson plan. And Scott, if you could put, there's a link for these lesson plans, and Scott will put that in the chat. And any feedback you have, or if you do use these lesson plans in your classroom, please send them to me. It's actually my favorite part of the job, is watching people's completed projects.
And as Amy said, you know, you don't have to be teaching a media class and able to produce videos. We see a lot of lecturers and students creating videos to enhance what they're already doing. And as Amy said there, you've got the lesson plans that you can just integrate directly into the curriculum. You know, if you want to talk to us about, you know, inspiration or things that you want us to provide, we are providing an entire video tutorial course, which you can integrate into your lessons. So, you know, we would love to hear your feedback, you know, how you're using LumaFusion, how you would like to use it. And we want to provide you with the lesson plans and the tutorials that are going to benefit you. So as I say, this is completely free and, you know, a complimentary package, I guess, in terms of learning that you can use in the classroom. So we do have these lesson plans available right now, and the video tutorial series will be coming out soon. So it's very exciting. And so let's just now dive into the app itself. I know that some of you from the feedback have said, okay, you've been using the app for maybe 3 years, and some of you have literally just downloaded it. So I'm just going to give you an overview of what LumaFusion is and how you can use it. So essentially, we are a multi-track editor designed for the mobile experience. So we have 6 video and audio tracks, which can be layered on top of one another, with an additional 6 audio tracks underneath. So essentially, you can have a very, very complex timeline, you know, with up to 12 different tracks layered on top of one another. Or if you want, you can have a very simplistic timeline. It's completely up to you. We've put there at the top, this is a magnetic timeline. So those of you that are used to desktop editing, you'll be familiar with this. Essentially means that you can control your clips, you can trim them, you can split them, you can move them without worrying the rest of your timeline is going to get lost. Everything is going to be magnetized together. You can turn this off and on via the insert and overwrite mode, which is written there. So you have complete control over how you edit, which we love because we see everybody edit the exact same footage in a multitude of ways. So that's always really interesting, but we're giving you the freedom to choose there. We have many transitions within the tool, as well as titles and branding, the ability to create your own titles and overlays, lower thirds, whether that's subtitles or whether that's just little animations that are going to come in and out. Your students will be able to create those and brand their work, including the ability to import fonts into the tool as well. And we also have access to royalty-free media, which is Storyblocks, which is a separate subscription. That's a subscription in itself, but we'll be able to talk to you about pricing later on if you choose to do that. But that's royalty-free material that your students will be able to use: music, backgrounds, footage. It might even be sound effects. We have an entire bank of things that are able to use in your projects at school. And in terms of actually getting your footage onto the app, there's a variety of different ways you can do this. You can access footage which is on your Photos app itself. So perhaps some of your students are out there shooting with their mobile phones, taking some videos. You can access that directly from your camera roll, or you can import media from cloud storage. And we know a lot of the time in classrooms, you might want all of your students to be working on the same footage. So you can, for example, download lots of content from your Dropbox account onto the different devices, and then everybody's working off the same material. Or you can edit off an external hard drive as well. So that's obviously not taking up any space on the devices. So there's a variety of different workflows in terms of accessing your device, and we'll be able to talk you through each of them because we know you'll probably all have bespoke ways in which you want to work and integrate LumaFusion. Now, one of the major points of this app, which I love, is the fact that our projects are stored automatically. So when you're editing, if you lose battery, or let's say for example, you just want to close the app and just pick up a project later on, you don't have to go file, save as every time you edit. Everything is saved automatically. We also have automatic project backups as well. So you can jump back in time to perhaps, a few days ago to where you hadn't done a certain amount on the timeline, and you can restore your project to that point. But most importantly, we also have the backup of project packages manually. So you just upload the entire project package with all its media into cloud storage so you can download. So that means for students, every single year, you can upload your entire project package, and then if you want to re-edit for the next generation of students to be inspired from or work from, you can do. Okay, so there's lots of different ways to work with LumaFusion and the material, but LumaFusion itself has the features and the tools to support any projects that you're working with within the classroom. So whether you're working to produce long form, quite intense documentaries with lots and lots of layers, we can do that. Or whether you just want the students to create a really quick, lovely poem video just to complement maybe an essay they've written or anything else, we can also support you with that as well. So all of the tools are directly on your device and ready to go.
So talking about support, I'll put my email, Scott, if you can put my email directly in the chat, so you can email me anytime. And then about any questions that you have about implementing LumaFusion in your classroom. But also we have the LumaFusion Academy that's created by Caroline, which is, as you can see, many, many videos on how to use LumaFusion, not just about how to use the app, but also how to tell a story, how to shoot to edit. It's about being an editor and a storyteller, and with LumaFusion as the tool.
So LumaFusion is available to download on the App Store, Google Play Store, and Galaxy Store. However, this is for the individual creators who want to buy the licenses for themselves. And now Amy's going to explain how we're going to be purchasing LumaFusion for education, so in mass for your classroom.
Okay, so if you use iOS, iPad, iPhones, if the majority of your students have iPads, iPhones in your classroom, you purchase it via the volume purchase program, which some of you may be familiar with or not. Scott is going to put in the chat a link to a whole document about how to sign up for the volume purchase program and how it works. But essentially, this is via Apple, like Apple has set up this program, and it means it's half off what is in the App Store. So our app is $29.99 in the App Store. So you'll get it roughly for $15 per student. And this is per license, actually. So this means that when you purchase, let's say you've got, you want to say your whole school is using iPads, and you're like, this is a great program for us. And say you've got 500 students in your school, then for each student, it's $15, but that's the license. Like, your school gets to keep those licenses. And then through the volume purchase program, at the end of a class or year, semester, whatever, you then take revoke the licenses and then reassign them to students the next year or next semester. So that's how it is for iOS. Now, it's a little bit different for if you've got Android devices. So say you're using Chromebooks, or the majority of your students have Galaxy tablets or Android phones, then you're buying it per student per year. And it's different in that you go through the Google Education Hub. I'm not going to go into that so much now, because it's first, if you're interested in the Chrome OS Android version for your institution, it's easy to get started. You just email me with the name of your institution, how many licenses you want, how you can pay for it, and if you want to like manually re-up the subscription each year. So this is different. It's a subscription base, and it's how many students. So if you have 20 or more students, it's $449 per student per year. And then it gets less and less. If you have up to 2,000 students, like say you're doing it for a big institution like a university, then it's just $2.99 per student per year. So if you have any questions about that, let me know, and I can get you introduced to the Google Education Hub if you are not already. We are one of the selected apps for the Google Education Hub.
And guys, if you want to learn more about LumaFusion, or if you want to contact any of the team directly, you can do so. Talk to us. All of our names is our first name dot last name at luma-touch.com. We will put our email addresses in the comments below this video, so you can contact us, me and Amy, directly. But our website has an entire range. Amy's already mentioned the reference guide of how to use the app, but you can also learn more about the tools and the individual features there as well. So we want to encourage you to take the time to go and have an explore, see if it's right for you. Message us if you have any questions about the tool or any concerns or how it's going to fit in with your students. We want to work with you to bring LumaFusion into your classroom. Well, thank you all for joining us today. It's been really lovely to talk to you. And as I say, fantastic to kick off LumaFusion for Education. It's been in the books for a while, so we're very excited about this. So really happy to talk to you guys in the future, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you
Bye.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do.